part by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and Pay Safeguard.
They say go big or go home, and big one step closer to heading home early. It was FaZe Clan who take them all the way into OT, no less, and FaZe starting oh so strong. 11 rounds on the first half. We think this is just going to be a polar opposite of the Dust 2 we saw from Big just yesterday in the quarterfinals, but they turn it around. We go OT, it gets tense. It did feel like it was quite the crowd pleaser apart from that final result, but Yanko and of course Thor are now hanging out with me. Both teams putting on quite the clinic on their defensive sides.
Yes, and not only did FaZe have an 11-4 half, they also won the second pistol round,
Yeah,
right? So they were up 12-4. In reality, if they convert there, they're within striking distance to win the whole map, and quite convincingly, but they lose that anti-force buy, and that's where Big got rolling. We were talking about their CT sides. I mean, obviously that was what got them the win versus G2 in the previous stage of the tournament, and I think FaZe fell a little bit into that trap of taking things a bit too slow at times. When they had success early on, it was when they were doing something a bit more fast-paced.
And we have a rare opportunity. You know, we have our analysts here, but actually for a rare interview opportunity, we have Big's Counter-Strike analyst standing by to perhaps shed some light on what's going on in the Big camp after that first map loss.
We are in the Big camp, Alex. You are exactly right. And in fact, we're going to take just a little bit of a look here at round number 11. But first, I've got to ask, Gabi, big favor to Dust 2. So talk to me a little bit about the game plan going into this.
I mean, we watched some demons before the match, and we saw that they don't like to take basically long control that much as CT, but we thought we want to take A long a little bit, fake it a little bit, go towards short. They blocked A long heavily, and I think they had like B stack too, where they breed us pretty well. So it didn't work out that well as we saw, so we lost 11 rounds, but our stronger side was CT, and we showed that we can play CT very well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys had to climb the mountain again. You got about halfway up. You almost got there to closing out at 100%. But ultimately, it's just not what happened. So, I mean, at least looking forward to train. New map, and unfortunately, it's FaZe's pick.
Yeah, I mean, Dust 2 was super close. We could have closed it down, but I think the guys are already hyped that we came back, and we're also really strong on train. I mean, we trained a little bit there, and we just hope it will go well.
So, as an analyst, this is my last question for you. As an analyst, what do you go and tell Big in the camp?
I mean, again, like all our default stuff, like go through our threads, so our timings just like we hit our timings again, and just how they like to play, just little stuff, like how Guardian like holds his stuff, who's gonna play what side, how they're gonna rotate a little bit. But most of all, we said that we want to focus on our game again, and that's what we're gonna do.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, and only time will tell. And the man to tell the time would be Mr. Richardson over at the desk. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Mr. Richardson is my father, Trace, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, to break it down, Duncan, we haven't heard from you yet. It does seem to be a story of strong CT size, yes. But what else are you taking away from this game?
Yeah, one of the reasons why it wasn't too crazy for Big to at least try this map is obviously they had the success on it yesterday. They didn't have to show much of their T side as well. So if you were FaZe, you didn't have too much to read from. And it's not a map that FaZe have particularly prioritized. And it looks actually, quite frankly, as though FaZe doesn't have a T side on this map. I mean, whenever you go that slow, even with a big lead, you know, what's bizarre is they were playing early on in the T side as though it was 14-14 and they have to do the one strat to win them around. They get all hesitant. That was with a lead, though. You'd think, if anything, you'd be a bit looser, a bit up the tempo. Let's do some fast splits on a B. It's a lot of slow tactics. And I have to say, both teams, when I've seen them play, G2 yesterday and FaZe today on the terrorist side. On the new Dust 2, people always say with the doors, you're not supposed to be able as a CT to just fight straight up on that box. No one ever punishes Big when they do that. Tizian was there, Smoothie was there. No one was ever able to actually like isolate them and just kill them and block them off there. So I think what you've seen is a lot of teams that haven't played this map a whole lot.
So whilst FaZe's T side was a little bit uninspiring, their CT side, of course, ever strong. And you have an example on the Telestrator for us.
Yes, later on in the first half, round 11, as Trace pointed out already, early on there was a lot of focus around the long area of the map. Big was trying to force the issue there, but this is a bit later on after they took the eco as well. You can see very early on they boost 2 players up, Cat, Nico with the second AWP. They're going to go for that tower that also Big utilized themselves on their CT side, and obviously has a very strong angle here towards lower B. Even if a player is peeking out, he doesn't expect that angle maybe to be covered. Even though Big is in a slow default, they're going to try and throw the flash. They're waiting for a push like that. You can also see Nico gets the kill, but also the push from B is coming. FaZe realizes they need to break the default really of Big in this situation. When they don't go for a faster play, that's where they're spread out around the map, and they get a great 5v3 situation early on. And also, 2 players are mostly condensed towards mid, so it's not just about that second kill, it's also about you have all the information in the world, and now you just can back off and play the numbers. Even if Chroman dies, it's not too big of a deal, you still have a 4v2, and this is something that Big did almost exactly the same, had a similar round in the second half, so both teams had a very good understanding of the dynamic of the T side and what you can do to counter it, and that's something that we haven't seen that much in the past on Dust 2. That's why it was such a heavily T-sided map, because teams weren't really that dynamic, and here both FaZe and Big did a very good job of being proactive on their CT side.
Yes, and lessons learned as well from the players. Nico, of course, saving FaZe's skin on multiple occasions. That little shot into Nex's brain, but towards the final round. I'm looking at the scoreboard, though, albeit briefly, Duncan. It's pretty impressive to see that Big are keeping up with players that fill the FaZe roster.
That's also why I'm a little bit concerned, though, because I feel like if you're going to get a 34 frag performance from Nex and so much great consistent play, you've got to get a win out of that. You know, that hasn't happened very often in his career. He is one of the big guns on that squad, so feels like a bit of a wasted effort in that sense. They had a shot certainly towards the end of there to steal this one away. With that saying, going into train, it's a similar scenario there. The person who's picking that map, they're not necessarily that strong at it themselves. There's going to be another shot at it, but yeah, you did have a rare effort from Big where you were going fully head-to-head, even in terms of raw fragging power. So you can't kind of let those ones get away from you, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, of course, still waiting for that Guardian playoff combination to start to fully unleash. Notorious for what he's capable of when the pressure gets high. Maybe not feeling the pressure despite such a close first map. Let's talk train, though, fellas. Let's get our heads around that one, Duncan. I'd like you to perhaps set the scene somewhat. You already insinuated a little. FaZe have picked this map, and yet you're not necessarily suggesting that they are high-flying train heroes.
No, I agree with Janko. I thought this was going to be Big's surprise pick, and that they were going to pick it, because even though they themselves haven't been dynamite on it, they would pick it because it's one that FaZe have never really gotten a grips with. Like, I don't think Carrigan's ever had a good feel for how the T-side goes in the FaZe era. Sure, many years ago in TSM, he's very good on it, but it feels like they've never quite figured out how to use some of those players, like Nico on that map. Hasn't been that comfortable, never really enjoyed it as much. Then you look at the fact that they've lost 3 of their last 4 on it. Their only win was that amazing 16-14 at Sydney against Astralis, and they basically win by CT side. So actually, there isn't really a whole lot to see from the T side. So I have to speculate, okay, Carrigan's one of the in-game leaders where I tend to have a better read on him. I know him as a person, so I've talked to him about his philosophy. I'm going to go ahead and guess that he saw the Fnatic game against Big. He saw them just tear them apart on the T side, and he's thinking to himself, right, if they can do that with JW and Flusher, and I've got Nico, I've got Guardian, you know, if I can run a fast-paced game, I can do a lot of aggressive stuff, maybe we can exploit them the same way. The issue there is, that really was a one-off miracle game by JW, and again, you don't really feel like you saw much from Big. It's not really their fault that they got torn apart like that. It was a very unusual match.
And your thoughts then going into train has to be brief, Janko, but your expectations.
Yeah, I think for FaZe, they obviously wouldn't have picked it if they didn't put some work on it in those T sides. And what's interesting is Big picked to start on the T side, even though FaZe picked the map. So they maybe think that with the coordination that they have, playing against such a strong individual squad like FaZe, maybe their structure on the T side is going to get them a good first half, and then on the easier side they can put up the numbers. But
interesting,
this is a gift for FaZe that they get to start on the CT side. So even on the T side, just keep things a bit more simple, a bit more fast-paced, because whenever they slowed it down on Dust 2, they got wrecked.
Into the Lion's Den once more. Big on the left side of the stage, FaZe on the right, and FaZe going to be one very big step closer to the Intel Grand Slam should they pick up train.
Well, fortunately for them, the train has not left the station. It's under repair in the outer yard, but they look like they want to go toward B, at least off the hop. They send the bomb in that direction. Take it back, excuse me, 3 players in that direction. Bomb went toward the dumpster, so it'll hold for now. CT side, 4 sets of Kevlar, 1 kit, and a smoke for Kroman.
Just to note, FaZe on the CT side, map up already. Win the pistol, they could be off to another absolute flyer here like they were on Dust 2. In terms of the utility available for Big. Couple of smokes, 1 Molotov. Suggests they normally go inside if you get that sort of utility, but we'll see where it ends up. Very slow, as expected so far.
Top fragger in the first map next to hold above the ladder. Rain is down below. Double drop. Gobby was one of the first players to actually implement that to his lineup. It didn't always work because if the second player on top has the player below get taken down, you both lose your accuracy. So we used to see a flash thrown in with it. It works out splendidly. And they actually get the man advantage back as well, having found Nico, who only got the 1 kill.
Back to inside, it's only Kroman there. This is looking very promising for Big. Kroman can't find the insta-kill, but he has got a second chance on the crossover. But there are players towards upper ramp as well. He hasn't really landed anything at all. Same story for Guardian. This is looking fantastic now for Big as the bomb is planted. 3 versus 2. And right now there's no kid available as another ding comes through. Smoothie is going to completely destroy Carrigan here or get wrecked himself. 2 on 2.
Planted, however, and Tizian to hold tabs and takes the high ground. Kerrigan to 15 HP is now all that remains. He's gotten 1 and he read it well. He knew exactly what the situation implied, but could not snap back to find Tapson and Big take the pistol.
They definitely do. There we have it. Going towards Pop Dog at the very start, as you noted, the double drop down finds some success. First kill for them. Nico pushes towards the main entrance, one of those reaction plays we talked about on Dust 2. He manages to get 1 back, but the upgrade of the USP from Nex was too much for him. Inside execution, Kroman could do nothing about him. Comes down to a 1v1 in the end, but it was looking so comfortable for them. I don't think there was any danger of losing it, but maybe there is a chance of losing this one. My goodness, what's happened there? Rain and Guardian, in emphatic style, are finding all their headshots as they take down 3 players here. Only 2 remain as Tapson and Gobby to recover a nightmare of a situation.
God, Guardian starts off with a scout. It's through toward main again. He's so good at finding that angle early on. He's got lineups for days. Knows Tapson's there. You can see his foot. He'll fire into it, and he's fine. I'm sure we're going down. Let's face it, they didn't have much to start with. He did the damage the scout required, and then pick him apart at the end. It's 1-1. Great response from FaZe.
That shot from Rain. He was just in the connector with the Desert Eagle. 1 bullet fired. Yeah, they were both in there together. That's so sick. Hopefully we get to see it from their POV. Oh, here we go, just what the doctor ordered. It's Guardian after Rain shots. Great work with the scout, and you said it in Dust 2. As soon as you get on train, Guardian's out and about. Can they go toe-to-toe with him? Smoothie definitely could, and Tapson with the AWP on Dust 2 towards the latter stages, but...
And that's where I think I really want to see more from Smoothie in this map. I'm excited to watch it because I think that he has the skill set to really make this map work for him. One thing, Tizian returning the favor. One thing I will say we saw from Smoothie yesterday, comparing him to Kenny S in the first map specifically, is that Kenny was more mobile. Smoothie never really seemed to take that approach. It was more they would bring out the second op when they wanted to switch its position on Inferno or Dust 2 for that matter. So Train, you do have to be dynamic. You do have to put it in different positions if you can't afford to bring out 2. If you can't have the economy to bring out that second weapon for either Tapson or Gobby. As we saw T-sided, Gobby was the one to go to it rather than Tapson himself.
Opening pick found. Now buying themselves some time. Tapson still with the smoke. Tizian holding towards Ivy. That's where Nico resides. Gobby is trying to bait out either some utility or some shots. Let's work out who's beneath him. In towards that Pop Dog, but for now, huge advantage for Big as another kill comes through. That's Tizian. Right back to Nico. 5 versus 3. Could it be back-to-back force by victories here on Train? Time will tell, but Rain gets one back. He's got the AK-47. An absolute master of the weapon. As Guardian finds himself in a bit of hot water here, needs to try and stay alive, low HP, as the terrorists start barreling towards his position, and down he goes to the Glock.
He was so concerned. He didn't know which side of the train to fire at first or where to go. You can see the hesitation. As the bomb gets planted, Nex has got Rain. They could steal this back. I suggest they certainly are going to. Kroman on 11 HP, so 1-1-1 is how we started off, and Big take back the advantage. This sort of game, now I would not at all be surprised, yeah. See, the thing is, the Big fans are cheering for the fact that the M4 is creeping away. This will encourage a force buy. That's both good and bad. It's a double-edged sword when you have these back and forth games, because if they, okay, it's not even gonna go that far. Smooya, I thought certainly would hit that. The point is, if they bring those guns out and they win it, the same thing can happen in return. If they finally do break down the economy, they get a huge advantage.
Absolutely right. Crowman presumably goes down here, still fighting back. I don't know how he's doing that. He'll get 2 kills and survive on 9 HP. He'll take the weapon into the next round, but fantastic work by Big.
Yeah,
that's why they play
the force.
They play it so slowly, get those deagle shots, wait for mistakes to be made, over-commitments towards certain choke points. Tizian has been impressive this tournament.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I talked about. That 1M4, immediately you're going to force buy around that because the money's not established on the Big side at all. And in doing so, Gobby has read the fact that they've saved it and called the timeout to talk about this specifically. Because this is make or, I mean, it's early to say make or break. I don't mean for the whole game, but certainly for this half, it could be. Because if you win this, you have a huge chance to really open up a gap on them. If not, you in turn will, especially without a bomb plant, and being this will be 1,400, you have to sit back and concede that the CTs take momentum, and that is the last thing they want to give FaZe on the CT side of train.
2 scouts, 1M4, 2 deagles. Will it be enough? Anyone from FaZe capable of making this sort of weaponry work is Tizian. What a shot that was. Opened it up, found a second as well. Nico's just laughing at it. So, it's not as frustrated.
You know what I once played on this stage, Henry?
Which one was that?
It was with James Bardolph.
That's right, you, Kenny S, and James Bardolph, right?
Yes, and I have to say, Kenny really did let us down.
That's true. You did your best.
I think all 5 of my kills were high-impact frags, if I'm honest.
5 on 5 still here, though. Round 4, an inside play looking likely from the Big side. Smooya, the AK-47, looking for any sort of close-range encounters. There are a couple of players ahead of him at that lower ramp.
Smooya chance return. AK this time, he'll hold at the bottom of the stairwell. Brown Hall stairwell specifically. A few of them on this map. So even with the force point, they stack up B. It's a double scout outside. It's curious.
This is a bit of a problem. Look at the time remaining and their position right now. They're going to be struggling to get this bomb down. If they lose a couple of frags here, they might have played themselves. We'll see what happens. Unfortunately for Carrigan, the timing is a bit of a nightmare there as they show presence towards inner. 19 seconds now. Who's going to find the first frag? Not Carrigan just yet. It's going to be Smooya as the shots of the scout don't connect. 10 seconds on the clock. Can he even get the plant down? Still not got out of Ivy.
Nico's also in position on a deagle. He's overrun. They're going to stick the plant. They've got to get to it right now. Good find because Kroman has the gun and he's too far away. If Nico even shut down one player on entry, this round falls apart. They barely get away with that, but they do.
Scary times there for Big. Left it right down to the final few moments to make their commitment. But it will be 3-1 and presumably the full eco here. Bit of a horror show of a start for FaZe. After winning the second round force fight. 2 rounds against them, just 2 P50s here. You can call this a full eco though. So you should see more of the same from Big. They don't want to overcommit and rush places, but FaZe certainly do. Flashing each other. Not going to be the full eco victory by the looks of things, but maybe I've spoken too soon. Carrigan does pull one back and get at least some weaponry here. Smooya will find one, picks up the secondary AK, and falls back here. Doesn't want to go down by himself.
Guardian picking up one gun. You're right, if you went down there after everything I talked about getting that economic advantage, give away another gun. Guardian standing there with it. It'll turn on its head. Nico, P250, skilled enough that he could find this bomb plan. Potentially, next needs to be careful. Smooya's got Guardian. That should secure the round. Matter of keeping it costly in turn. 4-1 for Big.
Great start here for the German team. Round 6 coming through, still not looking completely stable. As FaZe, sure, they have the AWP, the M4s, but you can see only one kit. No one's got a helmet. That's not necessarily a big deal against AKs and AWPs. But Guardian has no grenades whatsoever. Carrigan and Rain without incendiaries. They're still going to be struggling and looking to pick up this next round. 4-1 down big. Do take a tactical timeout just to discuss their options. We did say coming to this one, they're a very technical, slow, methodical team. It surprises me that FaZe want to play them on a map like Train, to be honest. Like, there's no opportunities for straight up duels on the CD side. You have to wait for them to do all their strats, their fakes, and allow themselves to get in position. There's many smokes you can use. I think this would be, for me, on paper, this would be the worst map to play them on, right?
Yeah, definitely understand that. No, and like I said, we've already seen some of the things that Godby has brought into the meta. That double drop position on ladder where one player drops on top of the other's head. That was Godby that we first, may not have been him that came up with it, but he was the first one to use it in a match that we saw. So they're definitely versed on it. We know that he has a lot of time spent on every map trying to find exploitation such as that or little clever tactics they can use. You're right, it's an interesting one, but FaZe has also had really good success on it. Sometimes you play to your strengths rather than your opponents, if you will.
Indeed. I think that was maybe the best route for them because Train, I see Big having so much freedom to drop all their fakes, to do all their executions, and we know how strong they can be. FaZe can't really challenge on a map like Train. The most you can do is pushing Ivy at the start of a round, which is very predictable. A slow team like Big aren't going to fall for that. You can have an orb at the upper ramp, but they'll Molotov it at the start. So it's interesting how we got here, but still. Round 6 and no damage exchange so far. Very slow progress from Big, just wanting to go towards inside. This is what I'm talking about. You can just wait for the CTs to get bored at the very beginning. Then you go for the full-on execution. This time it looks like it'll be towards inside. I think Smooya might be lining up for smoke for the connector. I know they've got one of those available to them.
Guardian. Do exactly that and hold off the B site. And nails it. Blind or otherwise, Godby walks into the shot. Croman now sits on top of the bomb train itself, and he read it right, timed it wrong, looked behind him knowing that they were running down the sidewalk, but no sooner he looks that direction and looks away, Tabset appears, and that allows the bomb plant for Big. They've got a forward stance. Tizian, if nothing else, but can use his ears to try and get the information. I say that and then goes down through the smoke to Kerrigan, pulls us back to a 2-man advantage on retake. Important factors of that is that there's a double up setup, making it more difficult to take duels. They've got to make this quick. Molotov as well on top of the bomb. M4, but good hold from Rain on the AK. He has burned. He didn't quite get there in time. There's still a chance. Next had another one. Why? Did he throw it away? It didn't make it. Oh, it just barely spreads, but what? I thought it wasn't going to get there. And suddenly they might have this pulled off, but they've got to get it back. Next knows that they're on it again. He can try and find Nico. Guardian's not in position. How does he pull this off? Bomb detonates. Big pulled around. I did not think that Molotov had it.
A fitting way to finish the round. You're up against Big, the masters of the grenades. And everyone takes a turn, burning one by one. They say the Molotovs for that exact reason there. How they win the round, I have no idea. Absolutely absurd scenes. 5-1. And it all falls apart for FaZe there. They do save one player, that's Guardian with the AWP. But my God, that's got to be frustrating for them. We saw on the player cams. They looked so shook up, arguing, bickering as to what's going on there. How is that even possible? As towards inside we go, a lot faster this time. It's Croman to defend with the P250. Great job so far. Gets the first kill, takes down next. It gives time for Guardian to rotate in. Is this enough now for FaZe? Guardian can't hit the shots. As Tizian keeps it to a 3-on-3.
Bomb again on B. This time it's a 3-on-3 as Rain starts to work up. Deagle in hand, wrong direction to look. Smooya spots him, just barely, and then snaps back to find Nico in turn. Gonna go 6-1. FaZe, you're right, that shouldn't have happened in the last round. A 4 versus 1, and 2 Molotovs destroy FaZe. Now the money as well. Big 6-1 T-side Train. It's looking pretty good. We said it as well, the slow start, heartbreaking way to lose the first map, but you mentioned it just before we went to break, that warmed them up, and they certainly are red hot right now.
Absolutely. Impressive stuff. Remember, on the T side of Train as well, money is a nightmare for FaZe. The rounds are ending up to be a disaster. They've won the second round force fight, and that's all they've brought to the table. I'll say it again, this map just seems to fit into Big's playstyle just perfectly. Everything they want to do, they've got access to do it. They can drop all these creative grenades, and next with so much utility, you see that last tick that spreads over to Rain. So frustrating.
I thought he was too shallow when he threw it. I didn't think that was going to bounce right at all.
Incredible. Double orb setup now. Nico and Guardian need to find stable grounds. Been very shaky the last few stages of Dust 2. Didn't look fantastic, and just the beginning of Train has been really chaotic, and Big have looked calm throughout.
Gobby gets down ladder. Bomb still intentionally left behind so that they can just clear angles. Guardian pushing so far up with that AWP. In fact, he's looking to go further. Has Croman to play off of him. And the angle behind that half wall, there you go, you can see it now. Just so that he won't be spotted from anyone above and can react, can swing when they try and put pressure on his AWP teammate. Second not boosted now, Ticket Booth on A. We'll see all the way down to main, and Rain as well as Kerrigan will play off of Nico's information. So one of the two setups, cleverly with the AWPs, will get tested. Past that test, Guardian says so, and now if they ran it down, that's what Croman's waiting for, but he's missed his shot. Still makes up for it, finds one, nearly a second. Goppy recovers it, bomb is down, but Guardian's ready for it. Information upon D, goes back for more, but next shuts it down. Guardian getting a little greedy.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna fall apart, I think, again. Smooya, if he takes down Rain, there's a real chance, throws a Molotov, 10 seconds remaining. It might be a little bit shallow, but he does get the frag, but the bomb is too far removed. As he's on 11 frags right now, but still, FaZe win map, but only one player survives at this point.
Yeah, one player, 5 rounds, now reset, so every kill Smooya got was important. The bomb was nowhere near him over toward B.
Guardian still had residual cash after saving the AWP a couple of rounds ago, so you can buy the secondary orb. You can see Big looking confident right now. They've called something, they look happy with it. They go back to the default, straight into the execution. We've seen a couple of faster approaches towards inside just to change the pace up. That's exactly what you should be doing. A good in-game leader doesn't just go slow every single time. You want to catch them off guard, not let them adapt. Croman, who's had a bit of trouble towards inside so far. Gonna be on the ledge there towards the inner ramp, and right now, waiting for footsteps. He certainly hears some, but gives up his position and might have to fall back here.
Drop down again, this time not stacked up. They just want to get position. Rain ready. I say that, apparently not. Gun was fired. He was slow from the blocks, and it allows Tabson to swing around and find Croman as well. Nico does spot Smooya, can't get the shot as of yet. They still have the advantage on the FaZe side. Minute to work with. Bomb getting closer to being planted, but I say that even if it gets to the train, with Tabson now down, there's a chance the flank comes through from Pop Dog. It's not quite close enough, but a 1 versus 3 completely surrounded. Guardian now swings out. And it's back-to-back rounds avoiding the reset and bringing us to 6-3.
It really did need that one. Nice job by Nico, especially. 3 kills in the round of the AWP. It's been a turbulent series for him. Fantastic first half, and then ever since Dust 2 continued in the second, he has looked frustrated and sometimes a little bit removed, but that was much better. Big with the bomb planted. They do have enough to buy. There will have to be some compromises here. Is it worth it? Maybe just take the partials. You can see it involves Smooya having to drop an AK and not get the AWP. Looks like that's the call they're going to make at this point. Up against a double up setup, I would say we're almost certainly going to see a technical set piece at this point. They don't have the sniper to work off to find those opening kills, and especially with Tizian's MP7, they want to drop a tactical, allows them to get in quickly. Smokes not deployed just yet. Goppy quickly makes his way down towards a Pop Dog. Didn't have to waste any utility getting to that position. Tabson to watch for any inside pushes, and Goppy waiting for anyone to play in front of the E-box.
Ticket booth never tested. The last time they put the op on top of it. Tizian playing off of Smooya. Try and run and gun with the MP7 to get position. Bomb is all the way back towards spawn though, so someone has to go get it. He might as well be the one to do so. Smoke down on Ivy, that'll hold Kerrigan in position with consideration of anyone on the other side.
There we go again, very slow. They haven't dropped a single smoke yet, Matt. They've got all 5 of them still. And they've got players in towards Pop Dog. They are lining up smokes right now. 35 seconds probably when they commit to it. The FaZe, drop a smoke of their own. That was towards Pop Dog. That's very nicely done because it's going to make things very uncomfortable coming out here. As Godby will commit first. He's going to have to flash towards a connector. That's exactly where Nico is. And now, fully blind, does he drop off? He has to. This is looking good now. You can see how close they've got. They know they're up against his double AWP setup. They're trying to shut it down. And Smooya will take down Rain, but Kerrigan's still fighting back. Nico boosted up and the bomb top planted. Somehow Kerrigan's denied it. That's going to be the round. Surely there's not enough time to recover this situation. 5 seconds remain. And they can't plant the bomb now.
Can't do it. Next didn't get on it. As soon as they got Kerrigan, I thought maybe they opened the window they needed to, but shut down again. FaZe find another round, and they've got to be careful to keep the AKs up and not lose money. They managed that at the very least. As it's 3 in a row for FaZe. 2 of them due to time. I say that with a bit of a nuance to it. So this one obviously came to time because Kerrigan denied the bomb. The one 2 rounds ago was due that Smooya was lurking and couldn't get back in time to his teammates. But either way, it just goes to show you that Godby slowing things down is getting caught off somewhat by doing so.
Round 11. There will be a tactical timeout called by Big. Remember, they did have the drop weapons in the previous round, but 2 players survive with AKs. They don't get any extra cash, of course, but Smooya has $6,000. He could buy the AWP. They'll have 2 AKs and presumably 2 pistols. AWP comes out. There we go. They are going to give this everything they've got. 2 pistols, 2 AKs, and they do have the 5 smokes, a couple of Molotovs there. And Smooya presumably going to go for the first pick at the main entrance to see how he gets on.
Couldn't find the shot immediately. Backs off to find an alternate angle instead. In fact, he's going to run it all the way down to Brown Halls. They might go fast toward B, so forget the time certain finishes we've talked about. If they go this quickly, get toward this site with ample opportunity not only to plant the bomb, but with advantage. Tabson, however, tagged equally. Guardian and he both on 15.
You can see Godby anticipating the push from Croman there at the upper ramp. Smooya boosted on the railings. That's why Godby has to watch the corner to make sure he isn't taken down. Very vulnerable when in the air. If Croman comes round the corner, he's going to get a lot more than he bargained for. Coming up to the 1 minute mark. Both teams have a wounded player. Guardian for FaZe and Tabson for Big. Still with the majority of the utility on the T side that is holding up. As Guardian actually goes to the spot where Smooya could have spotted him. Croman will get the first kill, gets his timing spot on, drops the incendiary. Tabson can't push that on low HP. Actually takes a tick of damage, it goes down to 1. Now that's some luck.
That's enough. Yeah, 1's enough, Henry. 2 feet and a heartbeat, that's all he needs. Tizian jumps around the corner, smoke down, and he gets tagged now on to 10. Smooya's gone. Might need more than that 1 HP if he doesn't have any teammates to work with. Kerrigan playing on E-Box nearly actually found the shot that would have done him in. Next, the only one that's healthy. The other side of things, Nico and Rain still on 100 HP. Croman's on 57. Guardian and Kerrigan are almost, you could say, equally as low, given that 1 bullet would take all 4 of the players mentioned out. Tizian and Tabson, the other 2. Kerrigan still holding though, wants to try and swing and time this to perfection. 6 seconds, again, they can't do anything. This is done again. Big has yet to open up any time. Next will get a further kill, but it's round done, and fortunately there's no one near enough to take the guns away. They'll be able to hold the economy 1 further round, but they won't get much for it.
Yeah, the problem is, sure, they're holding on to some AKs here, but they haven't got any money to really help them out with it. They'll purchase up fully again by the looks of things. This is a dangerous game to play, as we said. Big tactical side, need all those utility bits and pieces. They need the AWP on Smooya, and if you keep finding yourself in these positions where you're hamstrung and you've got 3 pistols and sure a bit of utility, it could be the half unfolding for them. They had such a high-flying start. They were 6-1 up at one stage. Double orb setup though. They know they're up against that. That's one thing they do have going in their favor. They can go for those set pieces and take those out of the equation.
Play Rain. Fires off. Guardian. Great pick because it gives Rain the space. He was all set to back away because he had no other choice if they lost Pop Dog, but Guardian getting the kill means he can stay there. That's an odd time to try and even attempt to reload. He realizes that. Sets to ready. Guardian again saves him. That allows him to slide back up further. They've got so much control. They're to Rain's position. He can even cut them off going back toward him, but good find by Smooya. Smooya, but not smooth, as Guardian is able to put him down easily. It's now just Godby remaining, and he is about to fall. Croman could do it in easily. Just doesn't want to pick it unless he has to. He'll trade off his teammates, and 6-6. We've got a tie game.
They don't they do recover the second field. I was about to say, I'm not sure if he was close enough to get it, but they do find that, and that's going to be 5 rounds in a row for FaZe. We know what that means. Maximum loss bonus is found by Big, and at this point, I don't think they can justify another buy. They have to just take a partial here, and hopefully squeeze out the last few rounds. As we go into round number 13 here, there's going to take some deagles. They didn't even partial buy this. I think that might be a slight mistake because they can afford to invest a bit more than just deagle. There's some Kevlar at least, and Godby gets the AK. The tactical purchase from him again, a last-minute decision to bring that out. It was not successful on Dust 2, and you think out of all the players he has available to him, he's got Tabs in there with armor, even a helmet. I would be saying to myself, surely we give him the AK, but we'll see what he's capable of.
Kerrigan, patient as always, will hold. For his sake, probably better off to hold Ivy with rifle rather than AK because of pistols run down that corridor. Can get a little awkward. Nico's near enough by. He'll have the AK to swing. Maybe get one shot in, but they're going to go out A main. That'll hold his attention there as Rain backs off. Good find on the first shot. Now Kerrigan smoked off. Has to be somewhat cognizant of the fact he needs to keep Nico protected so he can keep firing toward A main and keep finding kills. 2 so far.
Indeed, 5 on 3. Smooya next being dropped here, and that grenade just completely destroys him. Incendiary to follow it up. They're not having a good time there in Ivy. They burn down to 5 HP each as Tabson and Tizian know which way this one is heading. Well, we've got to find one kill and response. They know exactly where the other player is now.
Ace for Nico. Got all 5. 3 toward A main, rotated back around. Sure, anti-eco ace, but still he made it look very easy. Hit every single shot.
He absolutely did. It's good to see him recovering in form, and that's going to be the first round in this half, where FaZe will have the lead here on the CT side of train. Quite bizarre to say that, Matt, but it is 7-6 now. Nico looking a lot more confident with the AWP, hits absolutely everything. As you can see, nice little sequence of him, especially that player who's boosted up.
I like the bomb throw even, like, well, I'm done for. I might as well just give it a go.
So he got beat, tried to jump out of a main entrance there. Down he goes, Nico. Those 6 kills in the last 2 rounds now. Tizian towards Ivy. This is a very classic setup. You have the all behind Kerrigan. As soon as his teammate fires a shot, he pushes round, but Tizian anticipates it. He equalizes things to a 4-on-4 very quickly.
Still holding off the quad though next. It's good ground. It is something to work with. It's an integral spot in taking over the A site, more so if he can slide into hell without being spotted. Guardian does exactly that. Puts him down before he can get any further. He might get an opportunity for more. Finally, the smoke's come out from Ivy. If that came out sooner, Next could have had the position for free. They didn't read it well enough, or at least have the information to know if that was possible, if anyone else was in that corner. Rain. An additional kill to go the way of FaZe's side, and Nico finds Tizian to leave us on taps, and he's gotten an AWP in his hand, but not much more to work with. Does have bomb. Front side of the site gifted at this point. They're not worried about it. All they have to do is cover off the plant spot there for the bomb train, and they'll be content with it.
Just one player remains, Tabson, getting closer and closer to the bomb site here. He can't really unscope because that'll make a sound, believe it or not. If you take the scope off, it does make a click, and that's exactly why he has to do that. Now gets himself nice and close, but Rain takes him down. 4 players survive. The ship is stabilized here for Team FaZe. 6-1 down now, 8-6 in their favor. And they've got plenty of money, of course, in this final round. Doesn't really apply for both teams, though. Smooya, 3,500. Godby around the same. He'll have a Galil. Smooya with the CZ 75. Final round of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. This still is a successful half though for Big. Getting 6 rounds of the T side against a team like FaZe on their pick, that's a victory in its own right, I think. That it means if you can win the pistol in the second half, you've got a great chance of maybe taking this to a third. 6 is more than enough to have a competitive scoreline.
Down on Pop Dog once more, smoke off. Decent counter smoke, but flashes out. Tapson not slowing down, perhaps he should have, as he runs right into Rain, and Rain collects 3 kills before Nico chimes in to find Gabi. They know he's behind the E-box, the last remaining player in Smooya. Smoke out, Nico holds off the other side of it. No need to overcommit, over-pursue. He'll go for an AK, better chance in trying to find multiple kills with one than with the sniper. Might get behind him in the smoke. Guardian reads it well, and it's 9-6 with 8 rounds in a row for FaZe on the CT side. A great turnaround, and it certainly makes things interesting and complicated for Big. It looked like they were off to a fantastic start.
Well, they were. They absolutely were. They just couldn't maintain the pressure. It was the money game that was really going wrong for FaZe for the longest of time, and this round especially. Do you remember this?
Unreal.
They had to recover from this. It was a very frustrating moment for them. Amazing scenes from Next. That's one of the most, I'm also going to say impressive, one of the craziest plays we've had here in Cologne so far.
It was almost sloppy. It was exciting, no doubt about it, but it was so, like you said, unorganized. I think FaZe were unaware of who should have been on the bomb, who was covering where. Guardian was in a 1 versus 2 and didn't even have the position to cover the high ground, and Next was able to control the whole situation. But 9-6 FaZe still do take the lead. Pistol important for Big, as they're already down 1 map. Semi-final, a bit of a Cinderella, but final is what their ambitions desire, and in front of the home crowd. That would be delightful, I think, for everyone in the Cathedral of Counter-Strike.
Absolutely. You
or
especially.
church, as OJ calls it.
You're the priest, right?
I am, that's right.
The preacher.
That's me.
We're going to get into the inside push here from FaZe, and they're getting absolutely destroyed. As we'll see it being a 5-on-2. Desperately just trying to plan at this point. They know that's all they really can do with this one. The bomb goes down, but it's a clean sweep for Big there. Not a single kill picked up for FaZe. They just go for the straight up inside rush, and that's for one reason. You're normally guaranteed a plant there, and you see what you can do afterwards. Didn't really work out for them, but yes, they did get a plant. They can buy in this round if they really wanted to. It's not conventional, but some teams like to flow with that idea, but most likely they'll buy AKs in the third. 9-7, Big pull one back here. We've looked at the scoreboard for a while. We'll have a look. Nico at the top, another strong half from him. 16-8, Guardian 14, Rain on 12, and the top of the Big side, Smooya, making a great name for himself here in Cologne. 14 kills at the very top there, and then Next and Tizium beneath on double digits.
First in 9 rounds they get, and it comes on the pistol, but we'll take it. Rain's gonna bust out, go quickly, block, trying to run it down. Croman gone, well, not quite, he's on 6 HP, fair enough, but Nico, Guardian, Rain, everyone else is. Croman's the last to go. Very quick and concise, no kills yet in the half for FaZe, as Big take both very, very cleanly, swiftly, and do bring us to AKs early, however, due to the plants.
Indeed. So there we go. We'll see whether we have a rifle focus here from Big, and that's good news. They absolutely have done that. They've got themselves 4 M4s, an MP7 for Tizian. They've got the fuse kits, all the utility. They haven't lost a single player yet in this half. Smooya and Tapson going to town as we get into a real interesting moment here in the second half. If Big can win this one against the AKs, they've got a real strong chance here of pulling this one back. Tapson up close and personal to Nico, wins the duel. Didn't even take any damage there, man. And Rain, he certainly has, down to 60 points of health in the 4-on-5.
And they got the economic advantage in the first half early on as well. If they do that twice and FaZe still pull it off, I just want to point this out now. It goes to highlight how disciplined and how smart FaZe were at pulling the games back in both cases. But Big, you're right, they could easily still run away. Still in the early stages. Got a 2-man advantage to work with. Guardian's going to be Molotov, not able to spray into that though is Gabi, because he has to transfer from the train and down into the alleyway. Time that required to do so, it allowed Guardian to take a second position. I don't think he's aware that that Gabi is up so close. Never transpires as he doesn't step out far enough to be detected. Bomb has to be gathered, 53 seconds. Might be optimistic. optimistic at best if he tries to throw it out toward Ivy because Bomb is still waiting. They'll be ready for a push, yeah. Because now the flash gets ready. Guardian is aware that they're working down the stairwell. They can grab the bomb and head to Brown Halls. Both around 40 and 38 HP. Tapson's gonna hear them. He'll hear them jumping down, let one go. He's not spotted. This will be easy at this point. Easy indeed. Bomb and the kill.
Doesn't get much better than that for Tapson. Open things up, shut them right down as well. Very intelligent play, guarantees the victory by letting that first player go by. He's got the sound cue, the two players that are available to him. Lets the first go, and the second one's the bomber. Couldn't be better. And now, this game really is wide open. You see Tapson just finishing things off here. Very controlled, very disciplined. 9-9. And we'll see Deagles come out for FaZe. No armor, no nades. 3-0 against them. It's big. Seems to be getting stronger as this series develops. And now, it's likely they'll both finding double digits first, but not if Rain's got anything to say about it. What was that? And Carrigan snuck up behind Smooya. He's going to get this kill. Doesn't cleanly do it straight away, but still finds it. It's now going to be a 5-on-3. They've got no armor, but Rain has found the AK.
Certainly something to work with. They've got ground as well. They've started to scatter the defense by the perimeter of the A site. That is pushed off ever slightly, although it looked like Carrigan was willing to do so as he jumped back toward A main.
They've managed to get a flash here as well. Salvaged from their dead opposition. 5-on-3, but still I'd give the advantage slightly to Big. You can see inside, if that's where they head, Nex is not in position to defend it. They might even have to give it up if they get a clean plan here.
I think that's a foregone conclusion, just based on the timing, especially with Nico already on the high ground. Rain needs to be the money man in the equation. Do you commit the AK to trying running and in fighting? Kerrigan, meanwhile, they're going to wait and see what happens with his positioning.
Hello.
And he's gone. Yep, that's easy. Thank you very much. I was going to say, if he could find a kill, they'll be happy to let Rain sit back rather than try and fight forward with the gun because they have to get the bomb down and they have to hold off the rotation. Rain's gone. They'll recover the weapon, or will they? They haven't gone for it yet. It's on the ramp. Guardian doesn't want to run around. Instead, they'll send Nico around the high ground to come back down toward it, and smartly they nade on top of it. Nico just barely gets away without taking damage from the nade, but Tizian, meanwhile, gets Croman and Guardian. I focus on the AK because that's what matters, and Nico has the high ground with it. They know he's up there, so they get position. He's ready for that, but they're on the defuse. He knows that as well. Goes out, checks the angle, had it right, but Nex gets in position first.
A little bit dicey. The big recover. Like I said, it still gave him the advantage there. The fact they only have one AK, no utility, and 4 players still on pistols. They still managed to come out on top. Big. Playing it perfectly. Carrigan, you can see what his plan was there. Try to get outside, try and swing a player from the inner bomb site. He spots one on the bomb turret. Now it actually is unraveling because he doesn't check connector whatsoever. Taken down by Nex, and he found a lot more after that. It's 10-9 in favor of Big. Third map certainly on the cards, but Carrigan somehow recovers from being fully blind. Takes Tizian. And now Guardian with the Molotov towards upper ramp. He knows his player's coming around the corner, but they can't take him down. They managed to leg shot him, but this is starting to fall apart once again. Over commitments from FaZe have given Big the man advantage once again.
Single pick from Tabs and funneled them to Nex. Now slow it down. Guardian tries to get his op in position to try and one back. They can't go for the boost. It's not really likely you're going to find much when rotations are already established. Jump down. Guardian's fast on it, but it's a risk. There to slow the pace and get control of the situation as Croman will wait to make sure no one's going to sneak up the ladder behind. He'll hold until the call is made. Kerrigan's down, but he'll still have all the information as to what his teammates are up to. It's still going to be B. Passive this time from Tapson. Nex on the train. Smoke confirms they're heading this direction. Molotov will catch the backside of it. Nex is limited. Backs off anyway. Knows that Molotov is on his right, so goes to the left. So too does Tapson. He's on the floor with the AWP, and the bomb dropped again with 30 seconds. As Rain tries to fire it back. Nex. He somehow gets away with that. Nex should have easily taken him down. He's given him a chance to find this second, and Rain does exactly that, but only with 5 HP and 19 seconds. Leaves the bomb where it lies. Engulfed in flames, he cannot stand upon them. He's got to fight forward, and a flash high in the sky will hold Goppy off. Not for long. 11 rounds for Big.
11 rounds indeed. Round 21 coming through, and it looks like FaZe have got enough to buy. They pull it back once again. Big fighting at the lower ramp there. They lost Tizian to begin, but tabseN was playing out of his mind right now. He's got 14 kills to his name. That inside push with the AWP didn't work out initially, but the recovery from tabseN to find the player and force Carrigan to push down that lower ramp enabled them to recover the situation. They've got a double orb set up here. And FaZe have purchased into the round 4 AK-47s. Guardian is on the CZ for now. There's nothing on the ground for him that I can see, at least. I think he's going to stick on the pistol. Here we go then. FaZe really being tested on a questionable map pick for them. Big, look comfortable. Haven't dropped a single round in the second half. 5-0.
Good run, Tizian. It's a lot of extension, though, because running and gunning and firing that much ammunition, they knew exactly where he was, and Rain was able to burn him alive.
That's not the third time they've tried this inside push now. You can see they've got some great flashes to make it possible. Kroman gets close to tabseN, hits the shot this time, 4 versus 3, but not out of the woods just yet. They haven't accounted for Nex as he denies the bomb plant, leaves us in a 2 versus 1. GOB has pulled off some magnificent clutches so far. 2 players to find. They've recovered the bomb and picked it up. 2 of
FaZe's kills in this round have come from players who previously died. Rain and Kerrigan both getting kills from the grave with utility. GOB holds and hugs the train. Needs the friend, needs the wall for coverage, and wants to watch that they don't sneak in to plant the bomb. The problem is committing to one angle. Guardian has extended that and could easily walk out behind him. GOB realizes that time now becomes his enemy in that factor and goes hunting instead. Spots him, but not in time. Kerrigan, or excuse me, Guardian. The double digits round for FaZe. We're 1 apart again.
That's a bit of a reset here for the CT. Sure, they have had 5-0, but a lot of these rounds have had 2-3 players remaining. I think, I was about to say, I think they will buy. They're not going to, but the look of things, GOB with the CZ purchase suggests they'll go for something a little bit more conservative here. But there's Nex, he was given the opportunity. I would say, considering he brought that down to such a close one, I would say maybe the force would be justified, but there's many different outcomes there that could happen, and they're playing the safer game to make sure they have all the money possible. So I absolutely respect the decision to go for what I'd call an eco, I guess you could say partial or 2 sets of armor there, but a couple of HE grenades. Still a chance you can win these rounds, but maybe not if Rain's hitting shots like that. Fantastic stuff to take down Smooya. They have completely overran the outside area. Can they get the bomb down? You better believe they can. Tizian will pull one back, but that's looking likely not all they'll get. As we do tie things up, that's going to be 11-11. The money's now going to be very strong for Big. They can afford the double orb set up once more. That's where they want to be. As Smooya purchased the first orb, tabseN hasn't, so they're going to have just 1 AWP here, but that's absolutely fine. No diffuse kits to speak of.
I want to point out a stat that just flirting with the graphs in-game has just blown my mind. You want to talk about tactical ability and mindset from GOB? Total enemies flashed. GOB flashed 27 opponents in the first half.
That's actually insane. I'm looking at it right now as well.
It's like way higher than anyone else in the server.
I think HLTV were posting yesterday, he's got the best utility rating of anyone.
That doesn't, I mean, that proves it, but I mean, we always say that. It's proof. It's unbelievable.
When they're trying that inside push, especially, it's Tizian that's pushing inside, but GOB's right behind him, throwing the flashbangs. You can see that they're not just rushing in and hoping for a kill. They've got a little trick there they've got a flashbang. I haven't tracked exactly where it goes, but I think it goes through the skylights and they can flash through. That's GOB throwing it. That's why he's flashing so many opponents. He's got all these little
Smooya is second on the list, by the way, with 24 in the first half. So okay, nice. 23 in the first half. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, either way, both of those are extremely high.
Absolutely. It's always a cool thing. We'll have a look into the utility damage as well when we get a bit of a lull in the action. We'll see. No kits, as I said. It's going to be the orb for Smooya. Interested to see if he wants to move things around. He'll be at the connector at this point. Molotov deployed towards lower round by Tizian, just to allow him to get access to the shelf, I believe. He does push forward again. He has been very aggressive in this position by himself this time. As we enter round number 23, 11-11. This could be the final map. If Big do get shut down in this particular round, they'll have no money remaining. I know the second stage loss bonus. Just joining us, it was Dust 2 to kick things off in a overtime bonanza. It seemed like FaZe were very comfortable. Everything was done. This was an easy matchup for them, and it all fell apart with a second round force buy and some great tactical prowess, I have to say. The CT side especially, as were big, showed us what they were made of. And for now, here's FaZe and Kirk using the Ivy to get towards a backtrack. That's Carrigan and Croman.
Go a little early, jumping down the ladder.
This is great.
11-11, yes, this is great. Kerrigan already inside of the site. Taps it, finds one to shut him down, but Kerrigan pulls it back, immediately trades off him, and Croman to old bomb, but a rotation from Gobby. HP advantage in the favor of Big. The site held at least for now by Kerrigan, but Nico's gonna go back to get the bomb. That buy space, Tizian's not committing to rotation.
Huge round here. Big loses one, it's full eco. It's going to be difficult whatever happens. If they win the round, they still have everyone pretty much on $0 here. On 23, Nico, the low HP player, makes his way towards the bomb train. 10 seconds. Tizian not in a position to deny it, and that might cost him that fake plant. Tizian knows he can run out now, and indeed, he should have gone for the full plant there, and that's going to be the round. It's done and dusted, as Carrigan doesn't have any time. His only option is to save. Nico could have gone for a safer plant on top of the train or behind it, but obviously had no information, had to take a gamble there. Doesn't look too happy with it. And it's going to be 12-11, but like I said, still an expensive round for Big, lots of reset potential here, and there is a full buy available, but the pause is called by FaZe. Big take back the lead, all purchased for Guardian, both teams struggling extremely. As Smooya will be using the scout in this particular round. Surprised he couldn't find the AWP.
Think about Big as well. Had success at the major, but with an asterisk. A few people electing to spell their name with a different vowel after that one. But you can't doubt this event. Look, they've come into this after changes, putting Lagia into the coach position, obviously bringing Smooya in and replacing Kiev on the AWP. Tactically, they've looked sharp. Very impressive group stage. Take down G2, and now putting up extremely good numbers against FaZe. Semi-final, no less. Speaking of Smooya, he's certainly been emotionally invested.
Yeah, he really has. He hasn't had any big stage experience like this, and it can be an emotional roller coaster. Frustrating things will happen a lot, especially against a team like FaZe, who can steal rounds away when you think you're completely locked in. Tapson looking to get the job done, but he does touch the incendiary, which means Carrigan at least got a sound cue in that regard, but he's only got the Galil, doesn't challenge straight away.
Cat and mouse out toward long.
I think Tapson wins this position. He's much stronger. He's got the AK.
The only thing is this. You said it. He made noise on that Molotov. If he got caught pushing and Kerrigan was ready, he would have gone down, but you're right. He gets the angle on the AK, gets the kill, and they have the one-man advantage. He barely even takes any damage.
Absolutely. He never a doubt in my mind he wasn't going to find that frag. He seemed like he had full control of the situation from the get-go. It's a nice opening pick. Like we said, a difficult buy here for Big. That's why they're trying to make something happen. You've got your star player on the AK-47, means he can take more audacious risks at the start of each round. That's exactly what he does. That pushes forward, takes down Carrigan. Taking down an in-game leader always can be quite difficult to recover from. 5-4. Whoever loses this round will be on pretty much a full eco or a force buy. Scout does not connect. Smooya lets them buy, and they get ever closer towards the bomb train.
Rain running gun. AK waits for the smoke to be deployed as he watches back toward Ivy. Make sure that's clear before they get the bomb in position. Next is gone above. He won't deny the bomb, but he's got an angle. He might get a third. Can't respond. And Croman snaps back with speed to immediately take out Smooya behind him. Goppy as well. What a response! Croman! He's got 4. He's looking for the ace to pull it off. The stand-in stands up, and he might make Big sit the hell down because Tizian tries to get to the bomb. A quick tap. Croman's not responded. Cold as ice on this, but he's not moving either, which means he could give himself up. Tizian didn't check it. Croman holds the angle and plays this to perfection.
No kit, Matt, and the bomb's too far gone. I think Croman's pulled off the impossible task. That is absolutely amazing! He saves them, and a must-win round to tie things up and completely reset Big.
Get this man a contract. Forget this stand-in bullshit. He's earned it.
I agree. I absolutely agree. This is his rookie year as well. Imagine what Carrigan can do with this talent. That is such a massive round from him. It looked impossible. 20 HP, CT's all around him, and somehow he makes it work and sends them to the absolute doldrums of finances right now. You can see they've got nothing. They have to take the time out. What a massive win for Chrome and an ace clutch to really sabotage the efforts there of Big. Amazing scenes, absolutely phenomenal.
Next leads the way with 22. We've seen 2 aces. Croman's, I would say, easily the best, considering Nico's was an anti-eco. Or both, however, came on the FaZe side, 12-12. Rain loves it.
Yeah, he knows the gravity of the situation for Big here. That's what Carrigan's loving as well. He knows it's a reset. He knows they've got nothing left, but they can still throw this round away. They need to be very careful here. Opening pick comes in for Rain, and they get, well, the quickest round we've had so far by the looks of things. 4 kills, and Tizian left with the USP. No armor, and 5 players surviving for FaZe here. We've got some dramatic music for you as well, man. Oh,
I like drama.
Removed it. I was liking it.
Try to avoid it in my life, but you know, it doesn't always work out. Carrigan takes down Tizian. We go, all 5 players left alive for FaZe at 13-12.
Money still is absolutely wrecked for them and couldn't come at a worst possible time. If they do end up losing this map, they'll be absolutely gutted, and looking at one round in particular, that one against Croman. And it's quite fitting, man. Just as I said, in any situation, we're talking about Smooya and his temperament and looking frustrated. FaZe do have these kind of players that can make these sort of clutches happen. It can be very frustrating to play against. The best teams are the ones that can recover from that and not let it affect their play going forward. We'll have to see if Big can do that. They've got CZs here, a bit of a partial buy, and this is perfect for FaZe. You go towards the upper ramp, you get that bird's eye view of the bomb site. This is how to shut down the pistols here, and you can see them going to town. They know where Nex is. He should be dealt with in due course, but Rain is very low indeed. Tizzy is the last line of defense, and nothing really can be done. 4-on-2 now. Nico's got the back corridors covered. Gonna be a scrappy altercation. What just happened?
How did this all just fall apart? That was almost done. I was about to just say, Nico, yeah, easy kill. He's watching it, and all of a sudden the red turns to blue at the top right. Smooya pulls it off. I need to see what happened. That was all but done. That round was secured. They'd taken over all the pistols. The crossfire was found. Flank taken care of. Nico misses a shot. 2 in the site die. No bomb plan.
We've talked about it a lot this event, Matt. Rushing B against CZs can be absolutely devastating. That wasn't the problem. It was the recovery play from Smooya. My God, and now they've gone from that euphoric high of winning the ace clutch to this horrible low. But Nico looking to recover the situation, get his boys back in the game. And it's going to be Nex who's absolutely blasted away there.
Ooh-wee.
And Smooya, he'll need to fight back here with the AWP. They know exactly where he is, but he has got a slight gap. Can't hit the shot though. That might cost him. Molotov towards the bomb site, but it's already gone down.
Kerrigan jumps across it, takes a bit of damage for it. In fact, goes down to 30, which means he's slim picking. And easy for Tizian to find the shot.
That was actually really influential. It bought Tizian a couple more seconds there. Rain, they're leading the charge here in the 3-on-3, but they're falling apart here, Matt. And look at the flank coming in. CTs have this all under control. Nico can do nothing about this. I'm afraid it's going to take something very special indeed. The flashbang comes in, but Thompson, he takes him down. And a round where it looked like it was an open shut case again. The initial picks go in favor of FaZe. The palm comes through, but the flank is just superb. And that's surely the money gone now. FaZe looking down the barrel of map points. They're going to have to purchase something here. My goodness, this game has been an absolute roller coaster. Big earning their space in their spot in the semi-finals and really rising to the occasion. Looking for a place in the grand final. That's insane. The context of this tournament and the teams here, and it's big. They have FaZe on the ropes right now. Tabson, nice shot, but he is fully blind. Carrigan puts him to bed. God B smokes them out, and it's looking more comfortable now for CTs. This Croman's very low, but it doesn't stop him.
Croman with smoke. It's going to try and work it to his advantage. Good shot, Nico. A Deagle is certainly deadly in his hands. It always has been, always will be. Is Smooya with a flash to work with, gets a shooting gallery of two men standing still. Croman and Guardian down. It's Nico now with that Deagle, and only that Deagle. Bomb is down toward Ivy as well.
They're aware of the possibility of him going towards CT Spawn. That's pretty much his only option here. Tizian watching it, but still an awkward angle. Nico can just show his head here. He crouches and moves up to the steps. They won't have much vision on him. They're aware of it. I think that's why they've rotated to sit in towards Ivy. Just watch that bomb. They've got Molotovs, flashbangs, HEs. There should be no way Nico can win this, but he has got one of the scariest Eagles in the world. Smooya waiting for him on the corner. Peeks out. Safe for now. Deeper angle. Might be able to get the AWP here. Certainly does. He can actually breathe fire. Smooya, but he takes him down. 3 kills in the round. And the British rookie does it once again with the AWP. They've found map points here in the semi-final. Could we see overtime again? That'd be absolutely ridiculous.
I don't even know that we'll get that far. The way Big are playing, this could just be wrapped up now. Another lead has crumbled in a second half, this time in reverse. Big to pull it off and get to overtime. Didn't get map point, but put FaZe against the ropes in Dust 2. Imagine they pulled that overtime off now. Imagine they get a 2-0 against FaZe. A team that's been so dominant, that would certainly cement the incredible run that Big are on at this event. It's not done yet either way as they start to go back toward B. Flames are down, Rain will step once they extinguish. Seeing inside of the B site. 3 men high, got B to watch it. He's on top of it though, he's not on the spool. So his whole body's exposed, exactly that. It leaves it for Kerrigan. Tizian below, traces the shot, next gets the one above it. Croman to respond, Nico can't spray it. Just 1 to go and it's Croman again, who has to be a hero. Haven't found him yet, but they will now.
Unbelievable. Big, they managed to get back into Dust 2. They did narrowly lose out in overtime, but this time it's a clean win in regulation. Absolutely phenomenal scenes. One of the best maps of the tournament so far. So many chaotic, exciting, and almost electric moments there. It will be them winning out 16-13. We've got a 3rd map coming up. Matthew, any final thoughts about that map?
Absolutely not. That was ridiculous. So many rounds that went ways that they should not have. Big pull-off, a round with 2 Molotovs, a round with pistols. Both of them unpredictable, but it gives us map 3. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with Inferno.